In Europe, when someone dies in war, you put a poppy on a lapel and you move on. In America, you close the highway. You fly the flag at half-mast. You stand at a grave at 6 in the morning and you don't say a word. And then you fire up the barbecue. I spent a week trying to understand Memorial Day. And let me tell you guys, I really didn't expect to feel what I felt with this. So, Memorial Day, last Monday of May. This year, May 25th. In America, this is basically the unofficial start of summer, which is already a bit weird to say about a holiday that is supposed to be about dead soldiers. And let's be honest, if you're European and someone tells you, hey, wanna go and celebrate Memorial Day this weekend? Your first instinct would be, what exactly are we celebrating? Like, is this Veterans Day? Armistice Day? What is really happening? Because we have Armistice Day in Europe, it's November 11th, and we treat it like, with respect, we observe it, but it's not this. It's not actually what America does. You see, France has more war graves in its soil than most countries have cities. And we still don't do what America does on this special day. And once I understood why America does it differently, it kinda hit me. So today, I'm reacting to Memorial Day content, its military tributes, its ceremonies. I'm going to try and explain from the outside why this holiday is one of the most uniquely American things that exist.
It's really Memorial Day, conceptually, is this ideal of we remember the fallen. Right. And so as much as people mean well when they want to find a vet and thank them for their service on Memorial Day, it's not really appropriate because Memorial Day is remembering men and women who gave it all. Right. They didn't come home. And so that's what Memorial Day is about. Where Veterans Day is a day we celebrate someone who served 2 years, 40 years, doesn't matter. Like they're a vet. And so we celebrate that and we thank them for their service. And so base level, like that's what the two differences are.
Okay, wait. So basically, it is only for the ones who died. And Veterans Day is for the ones who served? Because I didn't know this. And let me tell you right now, I've checked, I'm not alone on this. I looked it up. And most Americans don't know this either. There's even a poll that says that 28% of Americans think that this day is for veterans. Which means that on Memorial Day, a third of Americans is actually thanking veterans for the service on this day, which of course they deserve it, but that's not what the day is for. And that's the thing, the fact that America has two separate federal holidays for its military, one for the living and one for the dead. It already tells you something, because in Europe we have one. We squeeze everyone in, the living, the dead, the ones we forgot about, the ones we should have probably remembered, all in one day, November 11th. America looked at that and said, well, no. The ones that didn't come back also deserve their own day. Now, don't get me wrong, in Europe, we have several days in a year for the military, for the service. We have also the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, but it's not the same, the feeling isn't the same, and in the end, it's just very institutionalized, very political. And let's be honest, if someone gave their life to their country, the least their country can do for them is to give them one day. Their own day, and not shared with the guys that made it home.
Every requested that officers remain behind the changing rail. Get behind the rail!
The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is one of the most continuously guarded monuments in the world. It's patrolled 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, regardless of the weather, by an elite regiment of soldiers known as Sentinels. These Sentinels are highly trained specialists in superb physical condition, ready at a moment's notice to defend the honor of fallen war heroes. So what makes the old guard of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier so feared and respected? And what happens when people push the boundaries and try to mess with one of the guards? Let's find out. The Old Guard is essentially ceremonial special forces, and despite their seemingly mundane job, they represent the very best of the best the Army can offer. It's so elite that less than 20% of all volunteers are accepted for training, and of those, only a fraction pass training to become fully fledged Tomb Guards. In fact, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier Guard Identification Badge is the third least awarded badge in the entire United States Army, behind Military Horseman ID badges and astronaut badges.
That's incredible, actually. if you're in the top 3 of the least awarded badges, and there's the astronaut badge in there, that's elite, top level, prestige. That's insane. That's actually really crazy to just know that. The amount of dedication and work necessary for this is astounding, actually.
To become a tomb guard, an old guard soldier must volunteer by applying for appointment to the tomb through the sergeant of the guard. To be considered for an appointment, the soldier must be highly motivated and disciplined, and possess a strong military bearing and soldierly appearance. If appointed, the soldier is assigned to the tomb for an initial 2-week training period. Upon reporting to a relief, the trainee is assigned a tomb guard trainer. The trainer informs the trainee of what is expected of them, including following strict rules, training guidelines, and the need for complete dedication and commitment to the tomb. The training cycle is intense, consisting of a series of 5 exhaustive tests over 6 to 12 months. These tests focus on ceremonial performance, uniform preparation, and knowledge. If the trainee completes the training cycle and passes the tests, they are able to flawlessly conduct 7 different types of ceremonies, meet the highest standards of uniform preparation, and recite 35 pages of information without error. If the trainee fails any test, they are assigned back to their company. The successful trainee is awarded the Tomb Guard Identification Badge and will be from then on referred to as a Tomb Guard or badge holder by their fellow sentinels. Demonstrating how serious a role this is considered to be, the Tomb Guard Identification Badge is the only military badge that can be revoked for any action that brings disrespect to the tomb. The Unknown Soldier. On the 11th of November 1921, the remains of an unknown American soldier were returned from the battlefields of France. Unidentified remains weren't uncommon during World War I, and without DNA profiling or reliable ways to match the list of missing soldiers with the discovered corpses, many bodies were simply marked as unknown. For this reason, the U.S. government approved the construction of a memorial in the Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia, United States. This would be the final resting place of the returned unknown soldier, and would serve as a monument to all deceased military personnel who were either lost or the remains never identified. The remains of the unknown soldier were interred beneath a 3-level white marble tomb covered in a stone slab. Intricate carvings decorate the sides, including wreaths and figures representing peace, victory, and valor. The rear of the sarcophagus includes an inscription which reads, "Here rests in honored glory an American soldier known but to God."
We have one in France, in Paris. There is the tomb of the unknown soldier also. It's located at the Star Plaza, c'est Place de l'Étoile, where the Arc of Triumph is located. But it's not the same thing. It's not guarded like this. It's not protected like this. And sadly, it's just touristy. Anyone can go there and take their pictures. It's a bit of a mess. It's sad, really, to see it going that way.
Why you shouldn't mess with a tomb guard. While the role of the sentinel is mostly ceremonial, there are some things you just don't do when visiting the tomb of the unknown soldier. The old guards will appear strong and silent, that is, until you break one of their rules. Cross over the barrier into the plaza and you'll probably hear this.
It is requested that all visitors remain behind the chains and rails at all times. Remain behind the chains and rails.
It's an M14.
Behind the chains and rails.
Respect and silence is required at all times. If you're being loud, rude, and obnoxious, you'll likely get this response.
Remain standing for this ceremony. It is requested that everyone maintains a level of silence and respect. It is requested that everyone maintain an atmosphere of silence and respect at all times.
I don't understand why you would go there and just disrespect the people, disrespect the dead, disrespect those that went there for the good reasons. Just jumping over the rail. Why? That would never cross my mind. I can't understand why people would be such assholes at those places. Be an asshole somewhere else. It's really weird for me. I don't get it. Okay, so I've watched this a few years ago. I remember it. I'm not unaware of it. And for anyone that doesn't know, this is the tomb of the unknown soldier at Arlington National Cemetery. These guards walk exactly 21 steps. They turn, they wait 21 seconds, they turn again. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, in the rain, in snow, through hurricanes. Never stops. And let me tell you, a 21 gun salute is the highest military honor you can receive. And tell me, where in Europe does this exist? It might. And tell me where we have something that matches this level of intention. Because this isn't a ceremony that happens on Memorial Day. This happens every single day. The commitment of not forgetting, it's just baked into the schedule. In Portugal, we had the Carnation Revolution. I call it a coup d'etat, but let's just be politically correct. We ended a 48-year-old dictatorship basically peacefully. That's the nice version of the story. Everyone's proud of it. We have a national day for it. It's a holiday on April 25th. But we don't guard anything at 3 a.m. Nobody's walking 21 walking steps in the rain for soldiers that did not come back home from Angola or Mozambique. And I do not say this to criticize Portugal. I love this country. It's my country. I just say this because when you see what America does, you're ending up realizing how much remembrance is about consistency. Not just one day, it's every day. And it hits different. Okay, now so I just want to address something very quickly that has troubled me while researching. Because you have Arlington Cemetery on one side, guards walking in the rain, flags at half-mast, families crying at graves during the sunrise. And then, on the other side of America, you've got Memorial Day mattress sale, 40% off all queen sizes. I'm not joking. Mattress sales, furniture sales, car dealerships. Come honor the fallen and have a discount for a sectional sofa. And here's the thing, my first reaction as a European was, this is disrespectful, taking advantage. It's crass. How can you be selling mattresses on the same day you're supposed to be mourning soldiers? But then, and this is where I want you to understand me, I changed my mind. Because America has always done this. The July 4th fireworks, the Thanksgiving parade, the Christmas shopping. America is a country that processes the most important moments with a celebration. Through gathering, through food, noise, being together. That's not disrespect. It's just a culture. And the culture says the best way to honor the dead is to live fully. To have the barbecue, to take the weekend, to enjoy the freedom they paid for. Is it confusing from the outside? A little bit. Once you understand that Americans celebrate because of sacrifice and not instead of it. Even though the mattress ad still bothers me, I'm alright with the barbecue. Let's be honest, in Europe we mourn. In America, they honor. Those are really the same thing. Gold Star families? If you don't know the term, this is what America calls the families of soldiers that were killed in action. The parents, the spouses, sisters and brothers, the children. Gold Star. It comes from the service flag. A blue star for every family member serving. A gold star for everyone who died.
We remember them as children, playing in a yard, blowing out candles, taking their first steps. We held them as babies and watched them grow into airmen. We remember them as our fathers and mothers, when we said goodbye and tried not to cry, and then letting it all out every time they came home, crying when it finally sunk in that this time they weren't coming home. We remember them on our wedding days, our first dates, waking up together, and how they died in slow motion on a phone call or in a living room when we heard the words, "You might want to sit down." The reality is, nobody was ever killed peacefully in action. And knowing that will rip your heart apart when you think of someone you loved and still love, always, in their final moments on this earth. They didn't deserve to die like that. But they believed our country deserved all they had to give. There was so much more they could have given. For a Gold Star family, every day is your own personal Memorial Day. The picture on the wall, dress blues with a flag behind them. Flag from the coffin on a mantle, or tucked away someplace you can take it out and hold it when you need to. We still pay their cell phone bills so we can call and hear their voices. We still visit the base because we want to be included, because we're still Air Force. And if you're on gate duty and see that gold star on the back of our pass, you don't have to worry about what to say to us. We know. And thank you. This is a club no one wants to join, but this is where we are, and we're as proud as we ever were. Gold Star families can say things to each other we can't with anyone else. Our civilian friends love us and mean well, but they treat us with kid gloves. They can't even say the words body or killed. It's not talking about it that hurts. We talk about the pain. We can talk about every detail about the day we got the news, but we don't. We talk about what they were like, and we're there for each other because a Gold Star family understands what no one else does. A person dies twice, once when they breathe their last breath, and once when their name is never spoken again. They are never forgotten. Remember them as children. Remember them as fathers, as mothers and sisters and brothers. Remember them as the ones we loved, because they were ours before they were yours. Remember them as heroes. Aim high, Airmen.
Well, that was emotional. That's maybe like when she said, "No one's ever killed peacefully in action." That's really heavy. Actually, that's really heavy. I didn't think I would watch a video like this when I was doing the research about the Memorial Day. I didn't think it would be so emotional. I understand what it means, but this, I don't have really more to say. I think it speaks for itself. Just crazy to me. But at least they know why they go. They know they will make a difference, especially for those that went back home, especially for their family and the American population. They do it for the country. And I think that's beautiful, actually. Gold Star families carry the pain that most of us cannot fully understand. We see uniforms and flags, and they see birthdays that never came, empty chairs at the table, and a phone call that splits their life into before and after. Memorial Day isn't really a long weekend for them. It's just every day. And the fact that they can still stand proud and still remember that their loved ones believed that this country was worth everything. That's a level of courage that most people never have to find. We remember the fallen, but we should also never forget the families that live with this sacrifice forever. Honestly, the idea of a fully voluntary military service that can still fill its ranks, that still has people lining up, that's not normal. That's not really European. But civilians do not see it with a good eye. They don't really understand how necessary it is. That's something specific to America. a specific relationship between citizen and country that I don't think we fully appreciate from the outside. Now, sure, every country has its military service. For several countries, it's voluntary, but that's not the same thing. Because when you enlist in America, you know where you are probably going. You know that probably something is going to happen to you. The probability is higher in America with Americans enlisting than with any other country where it's voluntary. Memorial Day is the one day a year America just stops and says, we see them, we remember their names. And you know what? That's enough. That just should be enough for all of us. You know, I started this video confused because Memorial Day from here looks like a contradiction. It's grief and barbecue on the same weekend. It's solemnity and mattress sales sharing the same square on the calendar. But here's what I think I finally understand. America doesn't separate the living and the dead like we do here in Europe. The fallen aren't historical. They're just present. The tomb of the unknown soldier is guarded tonight. The gold star flags are displayed in windows right now. The grief is current. And I think that's something that Europe might have lost. Because we have so many graves. France, Belgium, Poland, Germany. So many graves that at some point to them it just became abstract. They became statues and textbooks. They stopped being people. America hasn't let that happen yet, and I really think it's worth protecting. If you're American, and especially if you come from a military family, I want to let you know that watching this as an outsider, I have nothing but respect. Not the performed kind. The kind that understands why the flag matters, why the 21 steps matter, why the name on the wall matters. I'm Flavio, born in France, raised in Portugal, still learning about America, one holiday at a time. And if you enjoyed this video, I'm happy. I'll see you on the next one.